They say you can tell a lot about a man by his shoes, and with horses, it's no different. Listen as Blacksmith to the Stars, Conny Svensson talks about the ins and outs of shoeing horses and why he hopes he has contributed to the success of so many, especially his numerous Hambletonian champions. Connie, when it comes to shoeing horses on the Grand Circuit level, it's such a long year. What are some of the keys to success of keeping a horse sound and racing and being successful throughout the season?
Well, I mean, a lot of times it requires some changes of shoeing protocols through the season because you might have a little sore heel or something is getting out of balance and you might have to tweak things a little bit. But there again, that's when I have to inform the trainers that we may potentially look at a problem, and usually they let me know what I think should be done. I mean, we've worked together so long, so I know how Jimmy thinks, and now I'm pretty good at knowing how Nancy is thinking about things, and so there is times when you have to make some small changes or sometimes some drastic changes just to keep them sound. They do such a good job at maintaining their feet and packing them if need be. We got this cold water spa that they frequently go to, and we try to stay on top of things and stop the big problems from happening and just take care of the small stuff.
One thing I always wonder, and I know people say when the trainers pull the shoes, what do you think is the benefit for the horses when they do that?
Well, I mean, mainly benefits horses that interfere because a lot of times they stop interfering barefoot. But we talked about it before, and we don't race a whole lot of horses barefoot. We do every now and again, maybe out in Lexington on that good track, but just to see. But a good gaited horse, they get very good traction without shoes. It might be hard to understand, but they do. They really grab a hold of the track well, and it's less weight, and you can usually remove knee boots, shin boots. So it's not just the shoes that you remove. A lot of times you can remove some equipment as well.
What about the years going for Jimmy, right? I mean, all those good horses, that had to mean something, right? And you knew you
Oh,
were, and I know
absolutely.
Jimmy says you couldn't have done it without you.
Well, it's teamwork. And I've been fortunate to be part of that team. And I mean, none of us could do any of this unless it was with all these great horses that we had. So.
Jimmy, thinking about the career you've had with Conny Svensson, how special is he to you?
First of all, he's a family. He's a great friend, and I mean, gosh, we've been working over 30 years, 33, 34 years together. You know, I mean, he's a big part of my success, and you know, I mean, I'm not sure I would have made it this far without him. You know, I mean, it's the most important person in my operation.
Any Hambletonians that you can remember that things got a little hairy going into the final?
Well, one that comes to mind was Pinkman, because for weeks prior to the race, we were going to race him barefoot.
Okay.
Both heats.
Yes.
The mind was made up. So he went to Meadowlands that morning for the two heats with shoes that were razor stained, they were totally wore out. I figured they're going to make the warm up. And then Jimmy comes in after the warm up. He said, Connie, he had a 10-hole. The track is hard as a rock out there. We got to race with shoes in the lane.
Okay.
I was like, oh my God, here we go. So I had to go and put some new nails in, try to keep the shoes on for the elimination. He won with the shoes. And then, so I mean, everything worked out well. And then for the final, we raced barefoot.
Okay. Now we're going into Hambletonian this weekend. Of course, Karl is the big favorite. What has it meant for you to, of course, bring Karl along from 2 now into 3, and as a 6-5 Hambletonian favorite? Something you're used to, right?
Yeah, we had favorites before, but it's not easy to win that race. I mean, last year we did it not being a favorite, even though I thought he should have had some more respect than he had,
well, the draw didn't help.
No.
Yeah.
No. But it's more pressure with the favorite, but it's also easier to win with the favorite.
Now, Karl, as far as shoeing and feed, what do you think he is? Pretty easy, or you know?
super nice to be around. I mean, just never does anything wrong. You know, last week I just walked in the paddock, being it's Hambletonian. I want to have a last check, make sure the shoes are on tight. I just walk around him and he lifts 1 foot at a time. I don't even need to touch it. I mean, he's so easy to work with.
Jimmy refers to his family, and I feel that you think you are family to them. So when they go behind the gate every year, you've wanted it just as bad as they have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, we live next door to one another, and being that we're from Sweden, we had Christmas and birthdays and all that stuff together, like a family, because they are my family in this country.
Yes. Now, we're only as good as the horses that you get to sit behind, that you get to train. But as far as getting to shoe, you've had the opportunity, right, to have some of those great horses. But I think you've also been a big part of their success.
Well, there is some horses that maybe the Blacksmith can have a bigger impact than others because of problems that they have. But maybe I have a small part of it.
I think more than a small part. Now, looking at you, all your shop and around the barn, we've got all these great horses. But I see Captain Primo. I know that horse is very special. That's your own family horse.
That was my buddy. I mean, for many years we bred him and raised him for. I think he won races for, I believe it was 12 or 13 straight years. So I mean, he's missed.
If you had to describe Conny in one word, what would you say?
Artist.